Welcome back to another episode of The Last Lap. My name is Jimmy, and I'm joined by my friend and co-host Matthew, as always. Today, we're going to be recapping the two races that happened at Homestead this weekend, the Xfinity race and the Cup race. Before we hop into that, make sure you guys are subscribed if you're new to the channel. We upload videos every Monday and Friday, so make sure to stay tuned for that. This Friday, we'll be coming out with our predictions video and then any other news that comes out in between now and then. But without further ado, let's hop into the recap of the races. So the first race we are going to recap is the Xfinity race, which happened on Saturday night. The first two stages were relatively calm, but there were a lot of different people up near the front of the race at different points. Austin Cindric was up there, Justin Haley was up there, AJ Allmendinger was up there, and then kind of near the end, Brett Moffitt came alive out of nowhere, and Tyler Reddick too. Those two cars, I'm pretty sure, are allianced somehow. I know Moffitt drives for R Motorsports, but those cars, those two guys really came alive near the end of the race. In stage 3, one of the craziest things I've ever seen happen, and so Noah Gragson was in the lead and had the race won. Like he checked out, and then with 2 to go, coming to the white flag, the car in front of him, David Starr, blows a tire, goes up the track right in front of Gregson. He had nowhere to go, ran into the back of him, and basically took himself out of the race. That's one of the most craziest things I've ever seen happen. I know it happened in the Cup Series in like 2014 at Bristol or something like that. But like that's one of the only times I've seen that happen. But that was bizarre.
Or like when Denny Hamlin blew a tire at Indy last year from the lead.
Yeah, yep. But that's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. That ended up setting up a green-white checker restart to decide it. And Myatt Snyder, who kind of came out of nowhere. It took 2 restarts. Sorry, it took 2 overtime restarts because Reddick took the lead from Snyder after the first restart, and then on the second one, Reddick spun the tires, and then that allowed Snyder to get in front of him and take off and secure the win. So Myatt Snyder ends up winning his first career win in the Xfinity Series. Matthew and I were both wrong with our picks, unfortunately, but maybe we'll get it right eventually this year. But yeah. Matthew, first of all, what's your reaction to the Noah Gragson incident, and then with how the race finished with those green-white checkers at the end?
It was crazy. I mean, that came out of nowhere. I mean, you cannot predict somebody blowing a tire right in the exact spot where the leader is coming and allowing 2 to go. I mean, that's just crazy. I feel bad for the kid. I mean, he's gotten robbed out of a few races recently, both Homestead races last year. And then the Texas race last year, which he kind of blew that himself because he didn't really, he kind of choked that turn 4. But that kid cannot catch a break, and neither can Junior Motorsports. But that team hasn't had a good start so far to the year. Myatt Snyder winning his first Xfinity race, that's great for him. I mean, he used to be a KBM driver at one point, so I kind of know him a little bit. But he's been part-time for a while now. Now he's got this full-time ride. He's able to win his first race. That's good for him. We'll see how he does during the playoffs this year. And I know that overtime caution of AJ Allmendinger spinning out saving, that caused a lot of controversy. A lot of people are like, oh, they're bringing out entertainment cautions again. First of all, that's absolutely BS in my opinion, because one, I mean, Allmendinger looked like he was getting ready to go back up at the track. I think that NASCAR had to through it, but Allmendinger ended up saving it. So it was just a little mistiming, and it's just how it is. You know, you miss some cautions, you throw wrong cautions, but congratulations to Myatt Snyder and the whole Richard Childress Racing organization on first win of the season and first win of his career.
Yeah, I think NASCAR, they might have thrown the caution a little bit too early when Allmendinger was spinning, but I mean, either way, like you have to play it safe when it comes to that because it did look like he was going to slide back up on the track, and he did. He came into oncoming traffic, but he's able to keep it low and be able to save it and keep going. But I mean, if you're NASCAR, I think you got to play it safe. So I think that was the right call. And then back to Maya Snyder, I think it was really cool when Tyler Reddick was getting interviewed. Like he was about to get interviewed and he like ran and jumped over the wall and went over to congratulate Maya Snyder. So I thought that was really cool because apparently they trained together like in the whatever the simulator or whatever a lot together and all of that. So I think that was really cool of Tyler Reddick to do that. But congrats to Maya Snyder. And now we're going to recap the Cup race. So now time to recap the Cup race that happened on Sunday afternoon / evening. So there was some controversy before the race even started with Denny Hamlin, who was supposed to be the pole sitter. He had to get pushed to the back to start the race because of unapproved adjustments. There were a few other drivers who had to get pushed to the back too, but Denny Hamlin was the main one since he was the pole sitter. I thought something that was really cool is that the Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. I'm just not. I'm not going to pronounce it, but if you know who he is, you know who he is. But Tua ended up giving the command, which was really cool. He had a lot of energy behind it, and I thought that was really cool to like get a football star involved in it. So the race started. There was a competition caution on lap 25. For those of you who don't know, at Homestead, anytime a caution comes out, you're coming to pit and put 4 fresh tires on it because that track wears so quickly, and anytime you put tires on it, you're going to fly straight through the field. So competition caution, lap 25. And then there was a caution with 16 laps to go in the first stage for somebody who had an engine problem, a lower runner driver. And then, of course, everybody pitted again for tires. And in the first stage, Chris Buescher, like he came out of nowhere. Him and Ricky Stenhouse were surprising everybody in the first stage. And he ended up winning the first stage, which was great for him. It was wonderful to see him run up for pretty much most of the race up in the top 5 or even in the lead. The second stage was green flag for pretty much the whole time. Truex got to the lead after green flag pit stops. Chris Buescher was still in the lead. Martin Truex took that over after green flag pit stops, which was about halfway through the second stage. And then there was a caution with 7 to go in the second stage for Corey LaJoie, who probably lost an engine or some type of mechanical failure. And that set up a 1-lap restart to go for the end of stage 2, which was ridiculous. Everybody was going crazy. I'm so glad they didn't wreck. But William Byron ended up winning the second stage. He made a last lap pass off of turn 4 after Hamlin and Truex were sliding up the track. Byron just came underneath them and drove away and took the stage away from them. And then in the third stage, there was a caution with 60 laps to go with Ryan Blaney and Almirola. Almirola came up and tried to do a slide job, in Dale Jr.'s words. And he ended up coming in front of Blaney, and they made contact, and Almirola hit the wall. I don't think it took him out of the race. I think he was still able to continue. But
yeah,
after that, it was a green flag run all the way to the end of the race. Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano tried to split the stage in half to put fresh tires on it and see how much ground they can make up. That didn't work. I mean, I thought it was a good idea, honestly, because with how much fresh tires are worth it, I thought it would kind of work, or that they would draw more people to pit road, but everybody else stayed out and it didn't really work out for them. But William Byron, the kid from Liberty University himself, Matthew's got the hat on. William Byron was able to secure the win, his first win of the year, and his first win with Rudy Fugle, who was his crew chief in the Truck Series back in 2017, 16, 2016.
Yeah,
When
he
they
was
won a
with
bunch of
Cowboys
races.
Motorsports.
Yeah, when he was at Kyle Busch Motorsports. So I think it's awesome that they got paired together. But I'll let Matthew give his brief opinions on anything that happened during the race, and I'm sure he's a happy guy because William Byron got the win. So what do you guys say?
Well, I am happy about William Byron winning. As you can tell, from Liberty University, which I go to. So we see a lot of William Byron stuff there, like his fire suit there and parts like his hood is there and all that. So it's nice to see my college team, quote quote, winning. It's nice to see that him winning and in dominant fashion too. I mean, this is a statement win for Byron because it's starting to it's starting this, he's got to have like a breakout year. He can't have like a one win and that's it season like Blaney's been having. So like this is definitely good for him winning this early. So that means it's probably gonna be a good season for him. He had a lot of speed today. It's definitely great to see him, finally start getting consistent because this is like his fourth season and it's starting to get time to start making a name out of yourself, start winning more races, start becoming a contender every race. So it's great to see him step up to that. And I want to give out a few shout outs to some surprising runs today. Tyler Reddick, who's always good there at the high line, he was second, was the fastest car at the end, but he didn't have much time left. So congratulations to Reddick. He was my pick to win the race. So I'm kind of a little, like, man, I could have had my pick, but it's good for him, second place. Michael McDowell, sixth place, continuing 3 straight top 10s of the season. People said Daytona 500 win was a fluke. So far, he's proven that's not the truth because that's 3 straight top 10s. Let's see how long he keeps up this streak. Maybe he keeps it up. It won't be, a bad first round for him. It'll actually be, a little contending a little bit in case like somebody has an issue during the first round. Ryan Newman finished 7th today. That's great for Roush. Roush Fenway as a whole did great today. Ryan Newman was in the top 10 pretty much most of the race. And Chris Buescher at one point was leading a lot of laps and won the first stage, which that would caught me by surprise. But I guess strategy kind of messed him up and he was finished way back. So as the finish didn't replicate the way Roush Fenway performed today. So congrats to Larson, not Larson, to Roush Fenway today. Larson did finish 4th, so congrats anyways. And one more guy I'm going to give a shout out to, Daniel Suarez with the brand new Trackhouse team, top 15 for them today, which is definitely impressive considering as a brand new team. They're only in their 3rd start and already top 15, which is definitely good for them. So congrats to that team. And Kyle Busch, who let's just say he had a eventful day today, and somehow he finished 10th, which is saying a lot considering how terrible that car was today. If I were Joe Gibbs, I would not be happy about that, considering how that car most of the day was absolutely terrible. Not just him, but Christopher Bell was even worse. The last week's win was worse. Hamlin, he was up and down. Truex was really the Gibbs car that was actually really good today. So Gibbs got to get their stuff together. And Chase Elliott, he was back and forth as well. He was at the lead at one point and then fell back, and we didn't see him after that. So not the best day for him as well. So it's been like an underdog day today. Not all normally the good drivers that were like outside of top 10, and all the drivers that we don't normally see top 10 were up front today. So definitely a wacky way to start the season with 3 winners that we never thought would be winning already or win at all. And wonder how long this will continue on for next race.
Yeah, it was interesting because the guys like Harvick and Hamlin, they weren't really up there. And then they were the ones that pretty much dominated the mile and a half last season. I know Denny Hamlin won at Homestead last year, but those 2 guys weren't really up there. And they were the 2 main guys last year. Like you said, Chase Elliott, it seemed like he had a really good short run car. And then after about 5 to 10 laps, that car would just fade. And then he faded back through the field. Kyle Busch, like you said, he wasn't really up there much either. He got a top 10, so that's good for him. But it'll be interesting to see as we progress through these next few races to see if those big names finally start to come alive because, yeah, there's been 3 winners that I think a lot of people didn't expect to win this early. Like, if I were to pick the first 3 winners of this season, it probably would have been like Hamlin or Blaney for the 500, and then Chase or Truex for the road course, and then like Hamlin or Harvick or Truex today. But 3 surprise winners, I guess you could say, to start the year. And this will definitely shake up the playoff format. So now that we recapped the races, Matthew and I are going to give our rating for the cup race. We do the Xfinity race too. Why not? We'll do the Xfinity and the cup race. We're going to rate them out of 10. So I'll go first for the Xfinity race. This is tough. I'm gonna give it like a 6.5, maybe a 7. There wasn't that much action throughout the race, but the end of it really heated up. But there were also a bunch of people up at the front, like I said earlier, with Cindric, Haley, Allmendinger, Moffitt, Reddick, Snyder, all of them kind of going back and forth up there at the front. So I'm going to give Xfinity race a 6, and then I'll let Matthew do his Xfinity rating really quick.
I think the Xfinity race was better than the Cup race, to be honest, for this weekend. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think there was a lot more racing going on, and a lot of people using that high line more than definitely for sure than the Cup race. It's just because the Xfinity package is really much better. Let's just be honest here. Not a lot of people, including myself, do not like this Cup package with the big spoilers, with the low horsepower that slows everybody down. And yeah, I just think the Xfinity racing definitely looked better this weekend than the Cup Series.
Okay, so for the Cup Series, I think I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. I'm just going to give it a 5 because 5 is kind of like average. And I think for Homestead, we got our typical average Homestead race. A lot of green flag racing, a lot of people up at the high line, and then the field's pretty spread out. The second stage went green almost the whole time until like 7 to go. And then same thing for the Cup Series. That last stretch after the Almirola incident was 60 laps, and it was just a green flag run straight to the finish. It was very interesting to see Tyler Reddick make his way through the field, though. Like, he was on a tear. He was like 8th or 9th or something, and he got all the way up to 2nd. It would have been interesting if he did a little bit better on that restart and got further out ahead of everybody. And maybe he could have caught Byron if he had managed the traffic a little better on the restart. But I'm going to give this race a 5 just because it's pretty much our typical Homestead race of what happened. So, Matthew, what are you going to rate it?
I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Just a typical average Homestead race. Not much going on. But it wasn't too bad either. I mean, there have been worse Homestead races. But yeah, 6 out of 10, kind of average. But like I said, I don't think it's as bad as other Homestead races in the past.
That is all for this episode of The Last Lap. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Our recent video, the Homestead Predictions video, actually got over 50 views on it. So thank you guys 70. So much for that. What?
Over 70 now.
Oh, over 70 now? Oh my gosh. So Thank you guys so much for tuning into that video. We really appreciate it. Seeing those numbers like that motivates us to put out more videos like this for you guys. So thank you so much for that. Make sure you guys stay tuned for this Friday. We'll be dropping our preview video for Las Vegas. All 3 series will be racing their trucks, Xfinity and Cup. So we're going to have a lot to break down for that. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.